Radio.
Hello and welcome to Cryptocurrent, the only podcast to bring you beginner and advanced knowledge of cryptocurrency and blockchain, analyses of cryptocurrency markets, and discussions on growing a business within the crypto space. Stay tuned and stay cryptocurrent.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a special guest, Mr. Eric with Skrumble. Thank you so much for joining us, taking some time out of your day. Really excited to learn a little bit more about your company.
Thanks. And thanks so much for having me on, Richard, and go Raptors. And we will be getting our championship rings and banner in the next little bit. So go Raptors. First.
Oh, absolutely, man. I know last year was super exciting. And I mean, goodness, man, y'all deserve everything that came y'all's way. So excited about that. But thanks, Eric, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Give us all some background.
Sure. So my name's Eric. I'm from Toronto, Canada. My background is in marketing, and I went to York University for communications, and I got my MBA at Holt out of Boston. Did a nice semester out of China, and was able to do some really kind of expand my globe and my world through that. And then I helped also launch McCafé for McDonald's, doing the launch strategy for them across Canada as well, and that was a really big success for them. And helped a bunch of other startups and cool stuff like that. And then I helped launch Scramble Network in 2018, and that was pretty exciting.
Man, that background is super amazing. The fact that you helped bring the McCafé overseas, wow. So a ton of experience in marketing, and I'm sure I'm going to get into some questions about that a little bit later. But so you get super heavy into marketing, and you say you learn about a Skrumble, but what was that your first dApp into cryptocurrency and blockchain? Was that the first time that you got introduced to the space?
So, I mean, getting into it, I think, it was quite interesting introduction to blockchain and crypto. I remember speaking, with my friend early stage, and he was a big advocate of crypto and things like that. And, at the beginning, I was honestly very skeptical. I was like, I'm not sure. This is a little bit I don't know, is it a scam? Is it this and that? And I wasn't 100% sure. But, when we started to study how it can kind of change, beyond just financial, and look into other use cases. For example, Scramble Network, which focuses more on communication and media-centric blockchain, and really started to understand Bitcoin and what the vision was, and how at the time it was really about providing trust in a trustless world, and looking at what was happening around 2008, 2009 with the financial crisis, and seeing hey, there could be something very real about a no inflation kind of currency that could be adopted worldwide and really change the world. And when I started to really study and beyond just what you see in the news or whatever, and get into the real use cases, I got very excited, and that's what really got me to want to get into it.
Gotcha. So are you saying that you started all the way back and started to learn about this back in 2008, 2009 at the very beginning of all of this?
Oh, no. I mean, we started the company around 2014.
Gotcha.
And became a pretty prominent communication company.
Yes.
But we saw an opportunity to create a project, Scramble Network, that really was able to harness the power of blockchain, in around 2017, and then and bring it to market in 2018.
Awesome. So So actually, let's stay right there. So tell us about Skrumble. How did you come up with the concept? And I know that you said you built it on blockchain, but how did you come out with the whole process of what was the vision for it, and what is it now today?
True. Okay. So, we're kind of in the fourth industrial revolution right now, and blockchain is really integral to this movement. And I think that, you look at around the ecosystem and see what's going on, and there's some incredible stuff going on. And, I think that really the core for blockchain, for it to be really used in a mainstream way, is to have real use cases for major problems. And a couple of years ago, we started to see a very major problem. That problem is that we're really in the middle of a data crisis. And we look at, what's going on with Facebook, and there was like 80 something million accounts that were compromised. We see, there's a lack of freedom of expression and freedom of speech, for example, out of Russia or China or things like that. And, on WeChat, it's censored and that kind of stuff. And we see what is going on with our data in general. Like, every day you turn on the TV or you read the news and there's some data hack or leak or something. And, we saw, for example, the number one consultant in the world for IT security, which is Deloitte, was hacked. I mean, right now, what's currently out there is not working. So we need to use new and innovative technologies. And so that's where Scramble Network comes into play. Scramble Network is specifically designed for communication. And so there's different dApps being built on top of that. And what it does is it enables people to have secure communication and own their data. So the information and files are stored on, split up and spread out across community managed nodes. And so they're able to have authentication and create a secret key that enables you to have a secure conversation with someone and have different elements of our API technology. So voice, video, data, messaging, in-app crypto payments inside different use cases. And the first use case that's been brought out is called Ally. And Ally actually recently just did its own IEO, and it's built on Skrumble Network. And we're going to be announcing some pretty exciting stuff in the near future. But we're really excited about that as a really great case study and showcase of Scramble Network's technology. And Ally has over 200,000 users and is really one of the top dApps in the crypto ecosystem right now. You can talk with people, you can send crypto, you can do whatever you want, and you have the control of your data and you have the choice of what happens to that, how it gets stored, things like that, versus having, let's say, a centralized server like Facebook, where all your data is in one place. This is spread out and split up. So, it's really a very exciting ecosystem that's being built. And there's a few more very exciting dApps that are coming and platforms and use cases and partnerships that we're working on for the protocol. And when we started this, we were able to get some pretty high profile people to, work with us. We have Anthony Diorio, who's co-founder of Ethereum. And as you know, Ethereum started in Toronto, and Anthony, saw what we're doing, and he was very excited. And to get a co-founder of Ethereum on board,
it's a big deal.
For a project, it's a pretty big deal. And we have Jeff Pulver, who started a $3 billion Vonage, did an IPO for that, early investor in Twitter, and he loves what we're doing. We have a CTO of Aon. We've got we're backed by the head of blockchain and fintech, associate professor for University of Toronto, and much, much more. So I think, having that caliber of people behind us and advising us and giving us, specific suggestions and things like that, really working on growing the ecosystem, not just, a quick flash in the pan and, we snap our fingers and some small thing, but we're really trying to build adoption and grow our community ecosystem. So that's kind of the background on Scramble Network.
Well, thank you for diving into that deeply. But first of all, congratulations on a lot of your early success and being able to build it to where it is today, and for getting the sort of traction that you're getting at this stage. I know that the importance of mass adoption and what it's going to take to truly get there, and also the importance of building a foundation and a structure that people can build on top of, because that's where you really see the ability to spread and get a lot of people excited in using a product like you're building, and it's so important. And the fact that you have the background in marketing and understanding like how do you do the community building and getting it to the masses is very crucial. So even the team and the backers that you've been able to get on as well, like just kudos to you for for all the hard work in that. And just on a side note of, as you're building this company and you talked about the importance of integrating blockchain into companies. So why do you think, or how do you think various companies could be able to come on Skrumble and Scramble Network and improve their work outcomes or be able to get a lot of use case out of using your platform?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I think that, really what it's about is having the tools to be able to succeed and really building real world adoption, as you said. So, for example, like we service a very specific use case, which is media and communication. So, for example, like if you're a company that deals with high volume transactions, and you want something that's going to really help you in your use case, usually around, as I said, media and communication. For example, you want to build a streaming platform, or you want to build a dApp that's communication, or you want to build, whatever it is, right? You want to be able to have all the infrastructure ready to go. And really, from what we've seen, nobody else has what we have in terms of actually being able to have the tools ready to go, and a really strong team that's pretty global. We're relatively well known, especially in Asia, and people are building on it. People are excited about what we're doing and the tools that we have. And I think that at the end of the day, right now, it's really about building trust in a trustless world. And we're going to see so many exciting things come out of blockchain in general. So, imagine powering AI and big data on 5G networks with, automatic fulfillment and things like that. Like this is just the beginning. And I think that, project like Scramble Network really it's just the beginning. And we've got some incredible stuff. We're going to be really improving our infrastructure in our network, and doing an upgrade. We already launched our mainnet, but we're going to be upgrading it to V2 in the near future, and really focusing on building the ecosystem. At the end of the day, you probably hear a lot of blockchain projects and say things like, "Oh, we're doing 10 billion TPS" or some crazy number. At the end of the day, that's nice, but at the end of the day, you need real adoption and real stuff on your thing. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So, that's kind of where our focus is at, and it's really, some of the stuff is behind the scenes and working on really making sure that people actually use what we're building. So that's kind of our core focus.
And that's important, man. Like with anything, right? If you look at startups and why a lot of them fail, and you might have the greatest idea ever, but if no one uses it, what's the point? If there's not an actual use case, if there's not practicality to what it's being used for, there's not really a lot of point to it. Like there's been a lot of cryptocurrency projects that have come out, or blockchain projects that have come out, raised a lot of money, got a lot of hype behind it, but it's not very practical in its usefulness. And so I'm glad that you are coming from the approach of we're trying to have it be focused on making sure that it's useful, and that companies that come and build on top of this, it'll be because it's useful.
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned, right, like, our core thing is making it useful. And the way that we do that is by, we're not going to say one size fits all, right? We're not going to say everybody can build on top of Scramble Network. What we can say is we are very specific on our use case, which is like communication and, secure communication and media. And, that's why like people really like what we're doing, because we're not, we're really tailored to a specific use case. And I think that that's really resonating with a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. And it's great that you're getting that kind of feedback and that you're acting on it as well. So I'm glad that you're, taking in that feedback, and then also, making it very available for whoever wants to come and build on top of your platform. And yeah, man. And I know that you've been in the crypto space for a while now. I'm sure that you've been to multiple different conferences and just like meetups and what have you. But there's a ton of different projects that are out in the space right now in relation to cryptocurrency and blockchain. What are a couple projects that are that have your curiosity right now?
Yeah. So look, I think that really right now we're still at a very early stage. And I think, I heard that we're like in 1993 or 1994 of where the internet was. So I think right now, I think we're still waiting for that killer app or dApp. We would like to think that Ally can be that. We've gotten 200. The team's already got 200,000 users on it, and we're using that as a showcase to get many more on it. However, in terms of one project that really catches my eye right now is Cardano. It's really been making a lot of waves recently, especially in more of like the enterprise level. I do think that for crypto and blockchain technology in general, I'm a relatively traditional guy. Like I like really good actual use cases, and it's got to be good enough for big companies to build on it. Honestly, otherwise, it's gonna stay into more of like a cult status. And I think we want to see real mainstream adoption. So I would say at this stage, Cardano is something that catches my eye, and some of the interesting potentials there.
Gotcha, and that makes a ton of sense too, because I mean, especially when you look more into the crypto side of things and how it's being used on a potential day-to-day transactional place, you got to have some enterprise players that come into it. And even when you look at some of these quote unquote cryptocurrencies, I don't see them as cryptocurrencies. They're blockchain projects that were able to raise money on top of a thing. I mean, when you look at Ethereum itself, it is a platform where other things are truly being built on top of it. So
that's correct.
It's all about the landscape of what are the use cases. Going back to the theme of today is use cases, right? And building something that is useful and having people build on top of that. So I think that Cardano is definitely something to keep on everyone's horizon. So thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. But in the foreseeable future, let's say that like the next year or two, what are some things in the blockchain and crypto horizon that you think people should be looking out for?
Yeah, so here are the kind of things that I think we need. A few things. Number one is we truly need to find adoption. And I think one of the core problems is for real usage is that right now, let's be very frank, a lot of things are purely speculative. And we need something to incentivize real usage and patience. The average Joe crypto investor or participant, maybe they got in 2017 or something, and when Lambo, when Binance, things like this, and it was a little bit too crazy, I think. And anything that's just blockchain, just like throw money at it and just like hope it pops. I think that those days are starting to change, and I think that people are starting to get a little bit more educated and really understand, okay, like let's actually make real stuff here. And, I think we're still very much in the early stages. We need the patience. We need the real community. And we need the real, true believers, who are there and who are making sure that, this technology is actually solving problems that exist, right? You don't need to just throw blockchain at everything. And make a problem that doesn't exist. You need to actually solve real problems. And I do think that there's most projects I would say are still in the sandbox phase, right? They're showing signs. There's some cool things, but I think that for there to be real exciting stuff and game-changing transformational stuff, I think we're still coming towards that. We're still very early stage. I heard a stat that from Deloitte that blockchain is going to account for about 10% of the global GDP by 2027. And it's just really the beginning of this very exciting ecosystem. And some of the stuff that we're building on Scramble Network, that the Ally team is doing, it's the beginning. And I think we're really starting to see like the next big wave and potential and really new paradigm of thinking. So that's it's a really exciting time.
Absolutely. And we're just so early. I mean, I drive home on this a lot in a lot of episodes, and I truly believe that the cryptocurrency and blockchain space will become a $1 trillion market cap. It's just so early in the space, and I think it gets there in the next anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And with everything being where it is right now, that means just so much more money is going to be poured into this. And if you're able to come in early and build something that works and lasts, and then once the rest of the world catches up to this innovative technology, it's going to be really nice. And so,
I mean, if you just do the math, right? Like I was reading recently, like obviously I'm not saying this will 100% happen, or I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. But if Bitcoin goes to $100,000, it becomes a $1 to $2 trillion market cap. And you're exactly right. And all of a sudden, the amount of excitement and funding and business models and innovation really can be quite vibrant at that stage.
Definitely. And it's not unrealistic that can happen. So like, that's why I get so excited about this space. It's so early. Even when people's like, oh, I missed the wave, or oh, I missed whatever. It's like, no, this is the infancy of the internet. And a lot of your Googles and Yahoos and everything else haven't even been created yet, or they're being created right now and you just don't even know about it. But
exactly,
you just got to be in the game, and you got to be building something that's going to last. So thanks so much for spending this time with us and dropping all this knowledge. But before you leave, I always like to ask my speakers for a final thought that you want to leave with all of our listeners.
Yeah, so I think the final thought I would say is, and kind of the ethos of why we started Scramble Network is really like protect your data and really like take control of your life. Because I think that, on one hand, a lot of the time we kind of just, quietly, tacitly consent to whatever and just don't think too much about our everyday life. Whereas, one of the reasons why we started Scramble Network is just to say, hey, look, like, let's really think about data privacy. Let's think about our virtual identity, things like that. And really like, understand that blockchain is, as you said, very early stage, and we can really change the world together. So thank you so much for having me on, and I really appreciate everything.
Of course. Well, thank you for leaving that final thought with us. What is a great way that people can connect with you, Eric?
So you can join our Telegram group. It's called Scramble Network, or SKM. And my name's Eric. You can reach out to me directly on Telegram, or join Ally. Ally's got 200,000 users and growing very fast. So download it now in the App Store, or check out our website, Skrumble, SKRUMBLE.network.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that I get those links in the show notes for everyone who wants to look that up. But again, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cryptocurrent. For more information on this episode and all of our episodes, please visit us at www.crypto-current.co. Stay up to date with the latest news in cryptocurrency. You'll receive daily emails Monday through Friday that are personalized and curated content specific to you and your interest, powered by artificial intelligence. Are you an accredited investor looking to invest in cryptocurrency? Crescent City Capital can help. Go to crescentcitycapital.com for more information. If you're finding value in our content, please take 5 minutes to leave a 5-star review and a great comment. Also, please make sure to share this podcast with others. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the quality of this podcast. I can only thank my amazing producer, Andrew DeRitter, with DeRitter Productions, who has put this together. If you have any podcast, visual, or video needs, please go to DeRitterProductions.com. That's DERITTER Productions.com.
This has been another episode of Cryptocurrent, bringing you one step closer to becoming a crypto and blockchain aficionado. We look forward to giving you the latest in crypto news and analyses next week. Stay cryptocurrent.
Please use available exits now.